Right, I'm not even sure how I'm going to approach this video, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because I'm sure you've seen how bad Redfall is, and it's kind of like an echo chamber at this point. It's like, do you really need me to tell you my experience with the game when you've heard so many people already say the same thing? And I'm just going to be repeating them, pretty much. Because everything you've heard about Redfall, it's all true. All of it. I'd love to fire this video up and be like, hang on, let me explain why you're all wrong about Redfall. I can't. I legitimately can't. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I was hyped for Redfall. Oh my god, Redfall is the second coming of Jesus. That was never, ever the case. Was I interested in Redfall from the get-go? Absolutely. That first CGI trailer they showed off, that didn't do a damn thing for me. The later gameplay trailers, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I can kind of get on board with this. It's kind of like Far Cry with vampires. That's got me written all over it. Not the Far Cry part, but the vampire part. You know, like the moody atmosphere, the horror tone. I was like, okay, okay. But then I got closer to release, and I wasn't seeing any gore. Like you're shooting vampires, for God's sake. Why is there no gore? What's going on? Like it's all cartoony. And I was just kind of like, fair enough. I was like, I'm not really excited about it. It's in Game Pass, so I can't complain. I'm going to play day one regardless. And then the reviews hit, and every review was echoing the same thing about how the game is an absolute disaster. So I'm going to give my 2 cents on whether I think it's an absolute disaster or not. And the truth is, it's an absolute disaster. It really is. It's bad for Game Pass, and it's bad for Xbox in general. And just this is just looks so bad on so many levels, right? So where do I even begin with this? I could start with positives, which there isn't many. The gun models look kind of cool, I guess. Not all of them, but majority of them look pretty cool. Like this UV light looks a bit lame, but like what it actually does is pretty cool. The pistol, it's good. The shotguns are good. When you get headshots with a pistol, honestly, there's some nice crunch action going on there. I really do like the headshots. And the atmosphere in the game is spot on. It's got that very, like, it's like an October feel. Honestly, like, playing this at Halloween would be pretty cool if it was still alive by October. I doubt this game's still alive by then. But yeah, my initial impression of this game in single player was absolutely terrible. I hated every second of it. I thought it looked insanely ugly. It does. It doesn't load in textures, but it's not just that. It's the way they've placed dead bodies around the map. They're just kind of like clipping through objects, so it looks terrible on so many levels. There's just so many things wrong with the visuals that it was just like, what is this presentation? It's really bad. So then you come away from that and it's kind of like, alright then, so the visuals are bad, so what else we're dealing with here? Controls. These are some of the worst first person shooter controls I've ever played. Ever. They're unresponsive, laggy, dead zones for miles. I heard apparently id Software helped with the combat in this game. Fuck no. There's no way. There is just no way. I refuse to believe it helped in any way, shape or form. The guys who make Doom helped this. No. Just, no, it can't be true. But yeah, the game runs at 30 FPS and I'm just kind of like, how? And keep in mind, it's not locked 30 FPS, it drops. You heard that right. 2023, a game that looks this bad, runs that bad. It drops below 30 FPS. This game reeks of unpolished, unfinished, and just a lack of care in general for it. It seems like they've just kind of gone, this, no matter what we do with this game, it's going to come out, it's going to shit the bed, and everyone is going to tear it a new arsehole, and that's exactly what happened. And look, like the day after the bad reviews come out, Xbox has actually come out and been like, oh, by the way, June 11th, we've got a showcase. That's just so the headlines don't read, Redfall sucks dick. It's now, Xbox has showcase in June. We've already forgotten about Redfall. We've already moved past it because it's an absolute disaster. It is. It's a disaster for the brand. It's a disaster for Game Pass because now it makes like Game Pass look like, even though you get first party games day one, those first party games now look like this. Now listen, my preferred platform this generation is the Xbox, right? And it's got nothing to do with exclusives. I think exclusives from both Sony and Microsoft, for the most part, for the last couple of years, have sucked balls. I've got no interest in half the games they put out. I play them just out of curiosity, but I'm never excited for them, and I'm not like, oh, I need it day one. I like my horror games. I like games that have a horror atmosphere to them. They're violent, gory, and just the exclusives aren't doing that really anymore. It doesn't mean some of them can't do it. It doesn't. But for the most part, I'm after third-party games. And Xbox lets me play things like the Dead Space trilogy with ease. It's got Manhunt on there, and it's just, my library's all compact on there from like the past, and it's like those games are also getting FPS boost. There's numerous reasons why I'm on my Series X over my PS5, right? It's not fanboy shit, it's just that's where my favourite games are, and that's where they run easily for me on my big TV. You can argue all day and go, oh, you just get a PC and all that bollocks, but it's like, one, I don't want to use keyboard and mouse, and do you understand how annoying it is trying to get things to like run properly on PC half the time? It's not easy, and some of you are going to be like, yeah, it is actually easy, but you're not understanding. I want to fire a game up, and it just works. I don't want to go on the internet and look for a fucking like a file that some guy made to fucking stick into some folder on the game just to get it to run properly. I don't want to be doing that, right? So my preferred platform is Xbox, just for ease of access to old video games, because I'm an oldie. I want to play my old games because I know I like them, and if I just played new games all the time, damn, I'd be bored with gaming. I would. Not this year. This year's been pretty good for gaming, if I'm being honest. Not this game, but you know. But that's just where I want to play. So it's like, when Xbox puts out a game like this, it's just kind of like, what are you doing? You're making the system, you're making your brand look like ass. And I saw some people really defending this game on social media, and I'm just like, yous are gone. Yous are so far gone. Like, Xbox don't care that yous are like praising the game, you know. They really don't give a shit. They don't. They know how bad this game is. And if Xbox had any balls, they would have just went in, looked at this game and gone, so how does this run on our, you know, like our flagship machine, the Xbox Series X? Can you show us that? It runs at 30 FPS, it has dead zones for days, looks like dog shit, plays like dog shit. This game's cancelled. They should have just shit canned it right there and then and gone, right, this game will not see the light of day, get fucked, you're going to make something else now. But that didn't happen. What happened was they released it, and we're stuck with this game now. Right, so when I did first play it, I did play it in single player, and it was a mess. It's an absolute disaster, it is. But before, I'm not saying I'm going to make a review on the game, because I don't want to review a game I haven't finished. I don't think you should ever do that, personally. You shouldn't give an opinion, you shouldn't give a score. You haven't even seen the credits roll. Why you're giving it a review? It's just, I don't feel like you should have the ability to review a game. Sure, people will argue for days with that and be like, I only needed 5 hours to make my mind up. Yeah, you did, but you still shouldn't give like a full review explaining the product. So I'm not going to do that, right? But when I initially played it, I was like, I'm going to play it for a few hours, but this looks like I'm going to delete it on impact. But at the same time, I thought I need to try the co-op as well. So I finally tried the co-op, and after about 2 hours in co-op, I can honestly say I don't hate the game. Now let me be clear, everything I've just said about Redfall is 100% true. The game is a disaster, and it sucks balls, right? It really does suck balls. But in co-op, I don't know. It's like you're watching a bad horror movie. Do you know when you watch a bad horror movie by yourself and it's just shit? It's just a shit film. Why are you wasting time? Why are you watching it? But you watch a bad horror movie with friends, all of a sudden it's hilarious. It's a comedy. It's a good time. The best way to explain Redfall, it's dog shit. But if you play it with somebody else, that dog shit becomes a comedy. It does, and you just have a good time. I don't know what it is. We had a section in the game where kind of went in the house and we were in the basement and we tripped some kind of alarm or something, so then loads of enemies started kind of like flooding through, so they had to open the door to come down the stairs, and we were like, right, we'll just stay at the bottom of the stairs and we'll shoot them as they come through. The AI is so fucking stupid in this game that it's like, it should open the door and just start opening fire on you and wait for you to come up and whatnot, but no, instead they open the door and they're walking backwards. I really wish I had footage of this. They're walking backwards, so the backs are facing to you, so they can't shoot you. They can't even fucking see you because they're not looking in the right direction. And then they're all just getting shot in the back of the head as they come down the stairs, and it's just like, what is this game? But it's hilarious. It's so funny. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like the game is perfectly fine in co-op, because I think it's just co-op makes any shit game seem like fun. It does, and I think that's genuinely what's happening with Redfall. The game sucks nuts, but if you play it with other people, it's funny, and that's the only way I can put it across. You can tolerate so much more when you're having a shit time with friends than having a shit time by yourself, and that's the way to try this game, honestly. If you have Game Pass, don't you dare even think about paying money for this game. If you have Game Pass, that's how you'll play it. Give it a shot in co-op. The problem with co-op is it's got no quick match settings. It's not like you can just go in and go quick match, jump in someone's game and then run around with them. You can't do none of that. Plus, it's a mess co-op because like if your partner disconnects, it shuts your like lobby down and you have to go back to the main menu, and it's like, what? There's just so much wrong with it, man. But if you can get it to work, it's silly fun. It really is. I don't feel like absolutely robbed for time with it. I've killed like the first boss at this point, so you know it's okay. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm definitely gonna finish it. I can see myself finishing it. Maybe I do a full review then. But everything still stands. This game's a disaster, and it's got a ton of work cut out for them. They've got so much to do. Like, the game doesn't have a weapon wheel when you're switching your weapons, so it's like you've got 3 weapons equipped at any given time, and you're just switching through them all the time. And it's not like games have established that you've press your switch weapon button, right? So your Y or your triangle, and that'll get your other weapon out, right? And then there's always the hold Y or triangle, and you get your pistol out. That's always been a thing recently with like games that give you 3 weapons. Not with Redfall, it's just tap the button over and over again. So if you can't do the tap button plus hold, you've got to give us a weapon wheel, because this is a disaster. This doesn't work. It's just those little things, man. Why have they not done these things? Why have they not implemented it? And I was watching footage of like Dishonored recently, and I'm not being funny, I saw a weapon wheel. So it's not like Arcane don't understand what a weapon wheel is. You fucking know. So why isn't it in the game? There's just numerous random things like that, and it's just like, why? There's like we did a mission, and we went to a boat. We were on the boat, and the game actually expected us to get off the boat by fast traveling. When do you ever get games that force fast traveling? I thought fast travel was there for like a convenience thing, not because it's like, oh, a game mechanic that you need to actually use, because we're so lazy with our mission structure that we couldn't fix this one part. It just reeks of laziness, man, this game. It really does, and I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we can ever look at this game and go, this is a good game now. And I'm going to compare it to a game called Sea of Thieves, right? That game came out and that was a disaster too. Lacked content, was ugly, stupid game. Years down the line, it's huge now. It's got massive communities, everyone loves it. You know why that is though? It's because it was a unique experience. This is not a unique experience. It's Far Cry with monsters. You want to shoot monsters, go play Left 4 Dead, go play Back 4 Blood. You want to play Far Cry and do the Ubisoft thing where you're like knocking things off the map, go play Far Cry. There's no reason to play Redfall. There isn't. Now sure you can go, yeah, but can you play those games combined? I can't say you can. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's like that. So you do have to play Redfall, but that doesn't mean it's gonna satisfy you, especially not in this state. We've got to fix these dead zones. We've got to make the visuals not suck. We've got 60 FPS needs to be implemented, but that's not going to save it. People are like raging about the 60 FPS. Oh my god, the game runs at 30 FPS. Blah, 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 blah. That is not going to fix anything. If you make this game 60 FPS, it's still got terrible AI. It's still got terrible mission structure. Still bad presentation. Still bad controls. None of that gets fixed due to 60 FPS. It doesn't. The game is just bad. It's a bad video game, and Xbox, honestly, Xbox should have cancelled it. I'm just being real. Xbox should have cancelled it. They should never have seen the light of day. I am having a little bit of fun with it in co-op. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's fucking... It's definitely not going to win any awards, I'll tell you that right now. I might beat it, and if I do beat it, I will review it. But it's not looking good right now. I do have a lot of hours in it, I'm not going to lie, at this point anyway. Listen, did you play Redfall? Do you plan on playing Redfall? You're going to stay the hell away from it. Maybe you don't even have an Xbox and you're just like, I don't want to go anywhere near this. Obviously it's on PC as well, play it on PC. Apparently the control is way better on PC and you get 60 FPS and everything. It's not going to fix any of the AI issues or anything like that, but at least it'll control better. On Xbox we've got no control and we've got horrible frame rate. We do. There's so much more that needs to be fixed with this game. I don't see it being fixed because, like I said, it's not unique enough, and I can just see Microsoft kind of going, whatever, we tried, it sucks, just leave it. It's just another game in the library of Game Pass that we don't need to worry about. Sure, no one will play it and the servers will be dead. Well, I mean, what does it mean anyway with servers? There's no quick match. You need friends to play it anyway, so those servers, who gives a shit? The online compatibility of this game is just fucking dog shit to begin with, so... I don't know, man. This game is just horrendous. Like I said, I wasn't hyped for it or anything, but... I should enjoy this. This should be my game. I should be like, yeah, this is cool, this. For an exclusive coming from Microsoft, I was like, this seems like my type of thing. So, obviously, in the future, all I'm looking for from Microsoft right now is... Because obviously people are going to be like, Starfield needs to come out, but... The reality is, for me personally, is I need another Doom or another Evil Within. And State of Decay 3 as well. I love State of Decay 2. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That game is awesome. It is. But Redfall, that ain't awesome. That's a disaster. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you played it yourself or whatnot, if you're just staying away. That's all I got on Redfall. I'll catch you later.